Okay, I'm continuing my read from Of Water and the Spirit, Trying to See. This is part 2. That night, I forgot what food meant. The hunger I had felt at dusk vanished as if panicked by what had transpired. My body was in a state of such intensity that I could not focus on something as mundane as hunger. I pulsated rhythmically with the vibration of the earth, green, yellow, blue, and white. I could see these colors everywhere around me. Anything that lived carried them, or a combination of them. The initiates were lying on their rudimentary straw and leaf beds. The night was cold, so cold I felt an overpowering need to cover my naked body. But all I and the other students had to curl beneath was cold leaves. We were naked and were going to remain naked for the rest of the initiation. I shivered timidly in response to the chill from the dust-laden wind. It'd been quite some time since the coach dismissed us. Yet I wasn't asleep and sensed that nobody else was either. I wondered what spell we were under. Perhaps the coach was right, and I was resisting, questioning, fighting back too hard. I tried to blink out my mind by turning my attention to my own restlessness. For a while, I could not be, I thought, but I could not afford to contest anything anymore. I decided this was a trick of the mind I would come to understand later. For now, I wanted to sleep, to escape thought by making my mind the subject of its own activity. As I held tight to the perspective of watching my own body, my attention was caught by something behind me. I began to glimpse the intermittent apparition of a pair of eyes that seemed to hang in the darkness as if they were unconnected to anyone. I realized they must have been there for quite some time, but that I had noticed them only when they blinked. They were obviously looking at me, and I stared back. Enveloped in the frightening darkness of the night, the body, whatever it was hidden by the shapeless darkness. All I could see were two luminous oval lenses that rolled from left to right, from right to left. As soon as I focused on the eyes, the questions, objections, and fears I'd been fretting over vanished. The eyes had a magnetic effect. They were seductive, cajoling, and I knew capable of generating the most abject panic if they desired. But as the eyes watched me watch them, I was incapable of feeling any fear. I don't know how long this staring contest lasted. I had no notion of time passing. Suddenly, the eyes rose into the air, as if they were attached to a huge bird. Tilting my head back, I watched them leave. I was still able to see with a strange double perspective. I still saw myself in front of the eyes and saw the eyes behind my sleeping body. Ha! I felt very cold and realized the day was breaking. The coach was pouring cold water on each sleeper. This indignified wake-up ritual would be customary throughout our time of probation in the bush. "You can't stay here. Up, up, everybody," he shouted. I sat up and watched the coach splash water onto the last sleepers. Some of them leaped up from their beds aggressively. One guy jumped up, mumbled something, then flipped into the air like an acrobat and landed on his feet, crouched, crouched as crouched as if ready to fight. When he realized he was still in the last episode of a nightmare, he looked around shamefaced, lowered his head, and sat down. Hurry, the coach commanded. You must eat right now, for as soon as the sun rises, we must begin teaching you the tree knowledge. You don't have to eat if you don't want to. Actually, the emptier your stomach is, the easier it will be for you to learn. Other things within us are better nurtured when the body is not fed. So that's the end of part 2. And so one of the things that I underlined in this section is other things within us are better nurtured when the body is not fed. And any of you who have been without food by way of fasting, you notice that your spirit just wakes up and your spiritual eye gets opened. So that's part 2. That's the end of that. And I will be reading part 3 in my next read. Thank you for listening.